Assalamu alaikum. My name is Rahmatullah Kamawal and I'm an English language instructor. I teach at Sahib Institute of English Language and Computer Sciences. And at the same time, I work as an HR manager for Sahib Institution. Well, today I'm very happy. I have a guest from the UK. His name is Siraj. While he was leaving to the UK, he was 10 years old and now he is 26 years old. He has spent 16 years in the UK and he has returned home to visit his family. He has studied at the University of Oxford in the UK and he has also studied at a college in the UK. We will be having him today, we'll be talking to him today, and we will be interviewing him today regarding his personal life, regarding his life in the UK, and regarding why he established Sahib Institution. Establishing Sahib Institution was his dream, and we will be talking to him about it today. It's an honor and pleasure to have you here with me today, Mr. Siraj.
It's my pleasure to meet you as well.
Okay. Well, if I may kick off by asking you that, why did you decide to establish Sahib Institution?
As a student, when I first arrived in the UK, I went to school. Brownhill High School. They've changed it into co-op academic high school. I've been to high school for 1 year. I studied year 11 with no English whatsoever. I was taught English one by one. Obviously, I had to learn English first and then I was taken to a classroom. Year later, I have applied to go to a college, which is called Compass College, and that's located in Stoke-on-Trent. I've been in college for 4 years. I have got qualification from level 3 second year, and as soon as I've graduated from college, then I applied for the Oxford University, which is in London.
The UK.
In
London.
the UK, London. Basically,
Okay.
we say London. Yeah.
That's right.
It's true.
Okay. I have a lot of students that have been repeatedly asking me the differences between the British and the American accent. We teach here, as the people say, we teach here the students with the American accent, and because we haven't been to the UK yet, no, we haven't ever been to the US, but my teacher has taught me to speak in the American accent, and that's why I've been following my teacher's step. And that's why I'm teaching to my students in the American accent. Would you describe me what are the differences between the British and the American accents?
First of all, I like to say you have got an American accent, and it's very easy to
Really?
understand. Yes, yeah.
Okay.
And as you can see, I've got a British accent. The difference between, it's the same language, the same words, maybe some of the words are different, they are pronounced differently. Maybe some of the Afghan people would find it easy, an American accent, right? So if I give you an example, we say better, Americans say better.
Better, yeah,
Better,
that's
exactly,
right.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Okay.
It's very easy for them to pronounce it. If I give
For
you
example, you say in the UK water, while we say water.
exactly,
Yeah. You say international, we say international. Is it?
yeah,
something like
we say international, as you say internet. I don't know, I can't pronounce it, but like
Okay.
as you said it, yeah. There's a lot of other words, that are spelt differently. Let's talk about organization. Organization is, we spell it with the S, organization, and then obviously American use the Z instead of S. So there's some other words like we pronounce tomatoes as a tomatoes. American pronounce it as a tomato.
tomatoes.
Tomatoes, exactly.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. So you spent nearly 16 or 15 years in the UK, and you definitely have a true and genuine accent of the British people, or of the Britain, people living in the Britain. Okay, what differences do you feel in the lifestyle of the people living in the UK, or the British, or the people living in Afghanistan, or the Afghans? Since you came here, what differences have you seen, or can you notice now, between the British and the Afghans?
Yes, there's a lot of difference. Let's talk about the people, the lifestyle of the people. The people in Britain, there are a lot of people from different backgrounds. Let's say there are a lot of people from Africa, from Asia, China. The people are, it's a free country. You can follow any religion you want. You can follow any culture you want. You can have girlfriend, where you can't have girlfriend in Afghanistan.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's completely against the religion as well as the culture. Yeah, people go out for a meal, and it's all right. It's quite normal for the people in the UK. And if a person take a female for a meal outside in Afghanistan, I don't know, people have a different views and different reactions about the women's.
Okay, as you talked about women, as you talked about girlfriends, something caught into my mind. Now people usually talk about honeymoon. We usually read in the books that belong to the Oxford University, they mention it, the honeymoon, you know. What is honeymoon and what is it like in the UK or in the Western world?
Honeymoon is basically two couples meet each other, they stay for a while, and then obviously if they want to get married, before marriage they have to go for a honeymoon. So basically they go on the vacation, as they say in American language. In British we say holiday, so they go on holiday, they stay at a hotel. Obviously they spend 2 weeks to find out what they like in their relationship. Are they actually loving each other? Are they actually caring for each other?
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
are they, and then after honeymoons, and they come back home and they decide whether they want to get married or not. So if
After the honeymoon, they
After the
decide
honeymoon.
whether they want to get married or not.
exactly, so that's the 2 weeks. That it's like an exam. Basically, they go to this person and then they talk to the person to say, this is how I've been for the past 2 weeks, and this is how my husband's been for the past 2 weeks, and then he judges, and then obviously,
Alright,
yeah,
okay.
that's how he
That's
works.
it.
Yeah.
Afghans have tremendous respect for guests as they meet him for the first time, and you definitely must have experienced it yourself too, because you've been here over the last few weeks, and everybody, when they hear Siraj has come, passionately has been waiting to visit you, and it does happen. It does happen. You have experienced it yourself. That you came here, a lot of people have been passionately waiting to see you. A lot of guests have visited your home. What is it like in the UK? Do people have a lot of respect for guests? Do they treat them exactly the way you were treated here?
Let's talk about Afghanistan first. I would definitely say people are treating each other, as a guest, phenomenal. That's the word I would say.
Right.
I've experienced a lot. I basically got invited a lot of times. I've been invited to, my friend's house, family. A lot of relatives came to visit me.
What do you mean by relatives? I'm not talking about only in Afghanistan. I'm talking about the treatment with the guests in the UK. I mean, have you ever been invited by the British or by Afghans in the UK, and how did they treat you as you compare them with the Afghanistan people or with the people in Afghanistan, or as you compare them here today, that you've been here over the last few days, and you are here in Afghanistan, and the people show you a lot of respect. They respect you a lot. I'm talking about the people in the UK.
Yeah.
Do they also have that much respect for guests that you are respected here?
No, I wouldn't compare how they treat their guests in Afghanistan as well, because they treat the guests better than it is in the UK. So let's talk about, we do have Afghan friends.
Oh, all right.
They do treat you the same, you go to their house, and obviously, especially, let's talk about the Eid, when we celebrate Eid, we get invited to their house, and they treat us as same as what the Afghan people do in Afghanistan. Let's talk about the British people. No, I wouldn't say British people would invite you on, give you respect and treat you as a guest. That would not happen.
As Afghans.
Afghans would do, yeah. British Afghan would.
Oh,
yeah.
Right. What do you mean by British Afghan?
Because they've been born there.
Oh.
Their parents been born there, and it's like they belong to the country.
Right.
So if you're specifically talking about the British people, because the facilities are there for guests, so there's a lot of hotels. You can stay in the hotels stay overnight. You know, if you want to breakfast in the morning, all you got to do, pick up your phone, ring down the hotel to say, I need the breakfast, and they'll get it up for you as soon as you want it,
Okay.
and whatever you want.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. We have started doing a very good job of educating our people, training them, guiding them, and teaching them English language and computer programs, and that requires an immense struggle, dedication, commitment, which we apparently are determined to do so. But this needs your support too from the UK. Your support probably is concerned with the financial aid for Sahib Institute, helping our students out, register at their desired universities in the UK if they ever wish to go there. A lot of students here in my classes, they wish to go to the foreign countries and they want to seek the education in the UK, in Canada, in Australia, in America. You, as a financer, as the biggest supporter of Sahib Institution, what can you do to help our students in the UK if they ever wish to come there and ever wish to go to the UK and seek their higher education?
This is actually very interesting. This is my dream, to educate Afghan people. As a student, if I can educate myself, if I can improve my English, and if I can get a successful job, so can all of the Afghans. So, like as I said, it is my dream. I will help financially the Sahib Institute as much as I can. That's financially. Secondly, any student of Sahib Institute, if they want to come to the UK, and they need my help, I will help them. If they want to apply for the university, you have to apply through the UCAST, and obviously you will have a problem, and that's where I will come in to help you with. I will also sponsor you, as well as I could help you with other things. First of all, before getting into university, you need to take a diagnostic test. To find, so they can find out where your English is and whereabout you are. If you didn't pass the test, they wouldn't just leave you there. There's more opportunities where they will send you somewhere else until you get the level of English that you need to get into university. You can come back and I can help you with that as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. How did you make your way to the UK? How did you make your way to the UK? I mean, going to UK nowadays is very diddly. You know, it's full of threats. It can take away your life. You may be shot. You may be abducted. You may be killed. You may be taken away by the thieves for money. And that's really full of risk, full of problems. What made you decide to go to UK? Why did you decide to go to the UK?
Yeah, the main reason I have decided to leave Afghanistan and to go to UK is that the war. There weren't many facilities or many opportunities for me to study and to have a successful life. So it was a lot of war, and it was dangerous, it was not safe, I felt really insecure. So I could have been trained by the terror group. And I could have become by one of them if they got me. So luckily I escorted and I escaped. And I made my journey from Afghanistan all the way to UK. Like as you said, I have been through a lot of difficulties where I could have been dead. And there was a lot of shooting while I was crossing the borders. I've been under a lorry. I walked for days and without no food, no water. So yeah, I've been through a lot of difficulties, and I think when I got to UK, things were a lot better. I've had more opportunities to study, more facilities, better life, and I could see my future in the UK. And that's where it leaves me today.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have plenty of NGOs in Afghanistan, a lot of international organizations such as, for instance, UNICEF, IOM, International Organization for Migration, Human Rights Watch, UNO, United Nations Organization, WHO, USAID, United States Agency for International Development, and hundreds of such more organizations in Afghanistan. And they claim they are here in Afghanistan to help people give their basic human rights, and very particularly their focus goes on women's rights, right? Do you think women in Afghanistan are not given their rights? How would you draw an analogy between the basic human rights, or women's rights in particularly, in the UK, in Afghanistan?
Wow, that's a lot of companies out there to help the women.
Okay.
Yeah. I personally would say, according to the Sharia law, which is the Islamic law, I think many people are following it, and as long as they follow it, I think it's all right. But there again, there are some people here where they beat their women. They are not allowed to go outside. There's so many things that the women are supposed to be doing, but they aren't doing. If you go to the lifestyle of the women in the UK, women are free. Women can educate themselves. Women can have a job. Women can have a successful life. It's much better, more facilities, more opportunities for women in the UK than it is in Afghanistan. And I think we can do more to give the right to the women in Afghanistan, because I think they deserve it. And I think,
Okay.
they should be educated, they should have a successful job as well as they do in the UK. They should, and as well as...
So you want women in Afghanistan to be exactly like the women in the UK. They should have freedom, they should be educated, they should be allowed to go out of their homes, they should be allowed to work in the offices, is it?
Oh, yeah, it is true. It depends, women in the UK have...
What's your
freedom.
personal point? What's your personal view? What's your personal idea? Being a Muslim, you are an Afghan, you're a Muslim.
Exactly.
You said you're following Sharia law.
Yes, I
but
do.
according to Islam, it is not allowed for a woman to go out of her home or out of her house without her husband.
Oh,
or
this is
her
what I
hus-
mean.
or to
This is what I mean. If she wants to go to, let's say, school, there's a male in the house who can actually take the girl or the female to the school or college or to the courses or any institute so there has to be a male with them. I don't mean like she can just literally walk out the house and she can go wherever she wants to do. No, I don't mean that. There has to be a male with her to go wherever she wants to go.
All right.
And she can go out, she can stay in the house, to do the cooking, the man can, this is how it is. Man go out, earn the money for the woman, she stays at home, she does the cooking and cleaning, but she also, she's like a prisoner in the house.
Okay.
I was in the house for a day and I felt like I was a prisoner, and when I looked at the women I was like, oh my God, how do they feel? But when I say take them somewhere where, it's more appropriate for them, so they can go, take them out for a meal, treat them, love them, be there for them, care for them.
All right.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That's what I like too.
Yes.
Okay. In the UK, when people hear the word Afghanistan, or when they see a person, when they realize that he or she is Afghan, what is the first thing that comes into their mind?
Well, that's very common in the UK. Yeah. When people ask me a question where I'm from, I'm normally shy. I'm like, I'm from Asia, and they're like, okay, where about in Asia? I don't really want to say where I'm from.
You don't specify Afghanistan?
I don't.
Ah.
And the reason I don't
is
because the first thing that they come into their mind, the first question I would say, is he actually extremist or terrorist?
Why is this?
Because of the media. I will blame the media, because they don't show what actually happened in Afghanistan. They show completely something else in the UK, and in a way they brainwash, the people who actually
by the media.
By the media, exactly. It's the media who misjudge Afghanistan.
All right.
And when they do say, some of them are impolite, and they just come up with a question saying, are you a bomber? It's very shocking, isn't it?
Shocking.
It's very
embarrassing.
Shocking. It's very embarrassing, and then it does make me feel angry, And I say, okay, so if you think Afghans are terrorists or all the Muslims are terrorists, think about this: if all Muslims were terrorists, there are 2.6 billion Muslims around the world. If they were all terrorists, would they actually, destroy the world? And they're like, yeah, okay, it makes sense. I'm like, okay,
it does.
It makes sense, doesn't it? So I do say, please don't come across like that asking me a question, because it makes me feel angry.
So we would say Muslims are not terrorists, Afghans are not terrorists. This is the media that are trying to blame Afghanistan and blame Afghan for the terrorism, which they've been trying to cause terrorism in Afghanistan.
That's true. Afghans are innocent. I would say Afghans are so greedy to be educated. Afghans are so greedy for Afghanistan to be developed,
That's
and the
right.
people are not leaving them alone because extremists in here. Yeah?
Well, there are approximately 34 provinces in Afghanistan, and it makes it a diverse country on the basis of culture, race, language, somehow religion, ethnicity, etc. And that's where the discrimination arises. I would consider this as one of the key factors of the ongoing protracted war across the country. How does that go in the UK? Do people have religious, political, racial, or any other sort of discriminations or persecution among them?
Well, in the UK, according to the law, you're not supposed to be racist, or you're not supposed to do any sexual harassment, or you can't be disrespectful to any religion or any culture. But there are people out there who actually do them things. Let's say in England, they call it D something, English Defence Day. That is a special day where they prepare the groups to attack Muslim communities. So all Muslims stays at home and it's not safe for them. So there's another horrendous story where in the month of Ramadan, these three people were on the way to the mosque and they got attacked by a van, and obviously he was a terrorist. Not terrorist, he was racist. He was racist, and he didn't like the way they were, going to the mosque and the way they did their religion and the way they prayed, and he did not like that at all, and because of that he ran over the van and top of the three people, one of them passed away and two were injured. So a situation like that happens in the UK sometimes, but according to law, if they do catch them, they have to arrest them.
Alright, okay. How much westernized you've turned to be since you started living in the UK? I hope you don't mind the question. What characteristics of the Western world or the people living in the West have dominated or influenced you, or that you're obsessed with? Because a lot of people I've seen when they go to the UK, when they go outside of Afghanistan and they start settling down their life in the foreign countries, they adapt themselves. They're completely changed.
Oh, that's very true.
How much have you changed yourself? And what are the influences that have really dominated you in the West?
That's very true. It has a lot of influence on me. I have changed a lot. Let's talk about Afghanistan. When I was in Afghanistan, I used to get battered at school. I used to get, there's plenty of stories I can talk about, but there was no love, nothing. So when I made my journey from Afghanistan to the UK, I totally entered a new world.
Oh.
So new world. When I say a new world, I'll tell you what I mean by the new world. Like as I said, more opportunities for me. When I went to school, there were no battering, no hitting with the sticks. Everything was completely different. They would teach you everything with love. Oh. And I found it very interesting.
You mean the teacher do not hit the students?
No.
They don't punish them the way they are punished here?
Exactly. If a teacher punished a student, they call it a child abuse.
Oh.
So you could actually get arrested and you could actually lose your job by doing
that. That's against the law.
That's against the law, by hitting the student. So you have to, if a student misbehaves, try to teach it with love. If not, give them the detention. Okay. So they have to stay in the room for an hour and half an hour. That's a detention that they have to have.
Okay.
Love. A lot of love, more respect for humanity in the UK. Okay. A lot of respect for the humanity in the UK, and that have a lot of influence on me. I have met different people from a different background, different culture. I've given an example: people from China, Africa, India, people from Afghanistan, the British people. The way they talk to people, the way they treat their humans, each other, and I have picked up a lot, and that had a lot of influence on me, and that made me educated. And it's also made me successful in a way as well.
Well, what I really meant by asking you how much westernized you turned to be, I meant that a lot of people, when they go to the UK, when they go to America, when they go to any other country, they change the lifestyle. They change their lifestyle. For
Okay.
example, I've seen a lot of people. They have French style beards. They
Okay.
have different style of walking. They use headphones or something when they come back to Afghanistan. You're not like that. You still look a true, a respected and a distinguished Afghan as you were before. You stayed in the UK for 16 years, but you haven't changed a bit.
Very good, actually. Yeah, it does have an effect on other people. You see people, females, you see them walking naked. It doesn't mean you have to go after them. People are like, as you said, listening to music, and they lower their pants, and the way they walk, especially black people, they do them things. Yeah, it didn't, and I've also, I pray 5 times. I'm very strict.
Really?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I'm very strict when it comes to my religion. I pray 5 times. Attend the Friday prayers. Yeah, it's like I have to. In the month of Ramadan, let's say there's a lot of naked women walking along, and according to Islam, you're not allowed to look at the women. And
That's
so
true.
you have to. So it's depending on you. What it's like down there in your house. So it hasn't changed me because I didn't try to do anything. I wanted to focus on my study instead of looking at somebody else. And I wanted a successful life. I didn't want to change the way the people are, how they are living their lives, and how they doing things in the UK. And alhamdulillah, I'm really glad that I haven't changed, and I'm really glad that I focused on my study and concentrated as much as I could.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would love to run for the last question I have for you, and that is, what message do you want to convey to your Afghan brothers and sisters through the video?
The first thing I would recommend and I would advise my Afghan brothers is education. Education is very important. Education will open your eyes to the world. So your life is in your hand, and it's depending on you how much better you can make it. So I would say education is where it will make you become a person where it'll be very easy for you to listen to people and to understand people. Second thing I would say, love each other. Be there for each other. Show your love, your passion. Just say, look, this is how it's done, and this is how you learn English, and this and that. So it's really good. My number 3 thing I would say, be keen to build your country.
Oh, that's right.
Because our country, the war's been going on for 40 to 50 years now, and I think we've had enough. And I think we need to get up together, and we need to build a country. And how do we build a country? By educating ourselves again, educating ourselves. The number 4 thing I would say, stop terrorizing other people.
Stop terrorizing the people.
Terrorizing, exactly. You need to stop terrorizing other people.
That's right.
Do anything to make them go forward instead of coming backward, because it doesn't work. The more you try for them to go backward, Afghanistan will not develop at all.
Okay.
Yeah?
Thank you very much. It was really nice talking to you. I really enjoyed talking to you. Thank you very much for having you an interview with us. Thank you so much.
Again, it's my pleasure to be with you, and like as I said, I'll be there for everybody, and thank you very much.
Thank you
again
so
and
much.
again.
Thank you. Thank you.
No problem.